This starts cooking, and on. And what I'll do now, if you want to refrain, is that going to be good for you the way it is?
No, it's good right here. Yeah, right here.
Right, so then I'm going to use the restroom.
Yeah, go ahead.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to start in a minute. I'm handing it over to David. I need to take care of facilities. David,
go ahead.
Thank you.
All right, folks, we're going to start again. We're going to start. The first three are Angelo, Ashley, and Alan Harris. So, Angelo, would you come on up? You are fifth.
Hear ye, hear ye.
Angelo, are you? Yeah, you're Angelo. Okay.
Hear ye, hear ye. All right. What did you like to do right after the break, huh?
Yeah.
Here's some beautiful people here, you know? All right, guys, so I skipped my support meeting to make it here tonight. You guys should all know that I'm actually a recovering cell phone addict. A recovering cell phone addict. Yes, my name is Angelo. And
Hi,
Angelo. Thank you. So I'll say, my name is Angelo.
Hi,
Thank you. And it does not escape me that I'm reading this poem on a cell phone, which is not connected. It's actually a big phone or a tiny laptop. All right. Cell phone. You on that cell phone? That hell phone? That stale phone? That gel phone? You in a cell, Holmes?
Oh.
No one wants to be alone, but I have over 10,000 friends and I can't reach out to any of them and tell them that I thought about hurting myself last night. You in that cell phone, that hell phone, that stale phone, that gel phone? You in a cell, Holmes? These devices are our vices. Connected worlds untold. Why do I feel so alone? Maybe just another post. You in that cell phone, that hell phone, that stale phone, that gel phone? You in a cell, Holmes? Likes are my drug. Likes are my go-to drug. They tug at my ego and I post, yet somehow I seem to like myself less and less. Drawing comparison to illusionary existences. What the fuck? You in a cell phone? What the hell phone? What that stale phone? That gel phone? You in a cell, Holmes? Oh, hell no.
Ashley, and Alan Harris. Alan, take the next chair.
Oh.
The batter up chair.
Hey, it's really
Go
good
ahead.
to be here. It's been a long time.
Go ahead, Ashley.
I'm going to share with you a new piece. I hope I remember it. It's
You don't want to use the mic?
No,
Okay.
I prefer not to. Can you all
Okay.
hear me?
I can hear
I can get louder as I go.
Project, we'll hear you.
Yeah, that's why I'm here. So,
I still don't know how to use that.
yeah.
That's okay.
I used to judge those yesterdays that felt like forever. Here we are today, and I never say never. Sitting on this beach littered with remnants of vice, somehow all petroleum derived. Is this evolution? I'm really starting to wonder. All the cell phone zombies, more pollution and hunger. Broken family sadness, societal madness. But hey, at least we all got the latest gadgets. Get it, gotta have it. Spinning on this planet, drifting out in space. Where many rush about, though I'm sure it's not a race. Some think to seem so, and some seem to think. But I think it's a gimmick to sell us more drinks, among other things. Thank you. And this is called, I'm torn with where to go. Where do I go? Darker light. Darker light. Dark. Blisters. Okay.
Why do they do that all the time?
This is for the blisters on hands working hard. I've seen shoes split open. Too many miles been walked for a border to cross. There's no lower a cost than human lives with undeniable wills to survive. Even though, no, there are no guarantees where few truly thrive off the profits received. And obviously the Wall Street ballers believe in a wage slavery paid fiat currency. And that's empty if you ask me. A recipe for catastrophe when machine muscles atrophy. And it's likely a Seen it in the TV, movies, read it in some books. Old story, really change it up, new hook with a few surprises. For too long been told by crooks and tyrants, from castles to high rises. I land my irises, central focus. It's a nice day to smell some roses. Everything's not fine though, no fantasies as I release these codependencies on comfort zones. Mixed with remnants of Stockholm Syndrome. Caught siding with depression when conditioning's that aggressive, pervasive. Of food and water laced with mind-numbing chemicals that are barely digestible. Immunosuppression lacking vitamin and mineral, and there's none to pull through. These seeds, they don't root in toxic topsoil, but it make food that don't spoil. Born in rooms where they gene splice and toil with the inevitable effects I control through sickness and fear, while songs on the radio keep on singing the end is here and die young and some shit like that. But in my opinion, the end is just another new beginning where we get away from shock doctrines implemented by sick men diseased with psychopathologies. They love to give the people what they want, but deprive them of the needs with the reckless abandonment of empathy and compassion in collaboration with demons, it seems. And that's only a fraction of what humans can dream. And that's only a fraction of what humans can dream. So where's this all going? Where am I going? I'm noticing when I bring my focus in an infiltration of the subconsciousness through frequency, symbols, and suspicious images flashing frequently via digital media. Little bits of data that accumulate and add up to manufacture consent. All the while in the background is a nagging discontent or in discomfort, and it kind of makes my stomach hurt. Needs some attention. Timely intervention, prevention from getting worse because there's no cure but to endure with patience and care, exposure of the wound so it can be repaired. And it can, and it will, and we can, and we will. So I'll put it this way so my nerves don't fray. A better day starts right now, starts today. To the beat we sway, they can't take that away. No way, not ever, won't give up, never. Thank you.
All right. We got Alan Harris, followed by Melissa. Melissa, you're up in the batter up chair.
Okay, so you just and then just do this. You just go up, and then these two stop it.
My iPad
Together?
doesn't know why it's here.
Oh.
My Wi-Fi range extender hates to travel. My bamboo back scratcher wants a quid pro quo. My Bluetooth devices are not making the most of their 15 minutes.
Yeah.
My external CD drive is having a midlife crisis. My HDMI cables live fast and die young. My smoke detectors have doubts about whether or not there's fire where there's smoke. My car's body language is very threatening. My landline wants you kids to get off its lawn. My 3-in-1 copier keeps changing its major. My Facebook timeline keeps losing its place. My nasal irrigation system is laughing all the way to the bank. My TV soundbar is not a good listener. My turntable feels like a kid again. My subwoofer has stopped taking its medication. My Roku spends too much time on the internet. My exercise bike doesn't get enough roughage in its diet. My flash drives are being prosecuted under the RICO Act. My vintage eyeglass frames know what happened to D.B. Cooper.
DB.
And my watch collection is never on time. If you are nice to people, chances are that people will be nice to you. And then you will have friends all of your life. Unless the people that you are being nice to are assholes. In which case they are just pretending to be your friend, and they will take advantage of you and screw you every chance they get, which will make you jaded and cynical and make you not want to not be nice to people. In which case you will be resented and shunned, and yours will be a sad and lonely existence. Unless the people that you are not being nice to are assholes. In which case, they will recognize you as one of their own, and they will bring you into their circle, and then you will have friends all of your life. Of course, all of your friends will be assholes, but that's better than being alone, isn't it?
Self-promotion.
The book I have.
What's the name of it?
It's called A Glint of a Glimpse of a Glimmer of Alan Harris. People tell me that I'm too cerebral, that I think too much. But here's a thought. Would you have said that to Einstein? Like Einstein, dude, lighten up, you think too much. E equals M, that's enough. No, of course not, because it's not possible to think too much. How could it be? Thinking is what defines us as people and sets us apart from the hamster and the bunny rabbit and the aardvark and the possum and the platypus and the caribou and the koala bear and the panda bear and the howler monkey and the African spider monkey and the Alaskan snow leopard. And how can you do too much of something that does that? But here's a thought. You would never say to a dog, "Hey dog, you lick your own crotch too much." Because that's how dogs define themselves. They lick their own crotches. So when we think, it's like we're licking our own crotches. And without the ability to think and or lick our own crotches, we would just be vicious, snarling creatures instinctively lashing out with swift and horrible violence at anyone who threatens us. And sure, there are lots of people like that in the world right now. But here's a thought. Maybe those people are like that because they don't think enough. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
Alan Harris.
So, welcome back, Melissa.
And welcome back, Melissa.
Wendy, batter up.
How do I follow that?
Just the way you like.
Being yourself.
Yeah, that's what he does.
This poem is called The Weathering, and I wrote it after a partner broke up with me the day I returned to reality from a 10-day silent meditation retreat. Bird parts littered cement like omens or gifts. Beak, talon, wing. She said the starlings let their babies die. Either the weathering of desire and erosion, like so many daggered raindrops on beach sand, or the abrupt and disruptive thunderclap of an unrequited commitment. There is a dichotomy of beauty in letting a lover go that dances with ache. My heart and cracked ribcage opened wide in silence. What is this body made for but to harbor change? A vessel, sensations impermanent. The trees are prepping to scatter while the rest of us are still in bloom. Sight of palm slides across page, smudges wet ink, gives illusion that words continue after stopping. How can such delicate abstractions like lines on page or breath on ear hold weight after release? Across the room, a light fixture hangs suspended from chain in a birdcage. Everyone is looking at a computer screen. Why do we feel compelled to capture that which cannot be contained? No. Our bodies are not our design. Perhaps that explains why sitting with stillness can be hard for you or anyone. Outside, the sky is falling monotonously. Until now, I never noticed how water droplets collected on windows reflect tiny upside-down likenesses of the world. Until now, I never noticed how love is a perpetual mix-up between a bridge and drowning, and floating away in every direction. I wrote this one for a best friend of mine, and I sat in front of a fire and drank an entire bottle of wine until 4 o'clock in the morning. There's something about the vastness of the desert, you said, the way the sky opens up, stars poised like so many dust particles in a beam of light at dawn or dusk. And it is more aromatic than desolate, a sharp, sweet shrapnel smell when the rain comes, oily, like leather, like tobacco bitter pungency. I pick up earth, bones and bullets, a mother bunch for the sensing. To render barrenness is to deny a cusp, a wing, and a sadness deep as canyons run is no excuse for death. A quick plasma pop sends embers shooting into ash. Where fire once flickered as a necessity, entranced onlookers heartily asked respect. There are no greedy screens, irreverently beaming thieves. Rusted hatchet blade on splintered wooden handle rests in boxes of kindling. We are not built solely for city living. Safety is the riptide breath of a slumbering dog, the tinny whistle of a hummingbird, every corpse pose and inevitable ending, a part of a gun. Fragility falls off like a band-aid on wet skin if you let it. You hold on to your saguaro boot canteen by its dead, woody ribs and drink. I've been working on this one for the past week, and it's a fucking mess, but I'm going to try to read it anyways. I have become drink, and the sea is an endlessly swallowing throat. I imagine how it might feel to pass over gums, tongue, taste buds, uvula, through esophagus, and splash into stomach. Cease. But for now, seaweed and sand between my toes, the slow float fall of the submerged, fingers wiggling, I drink. When I was a girl, my grandmother won the lottery. She took trips to Florida and brought me back gifts. A plastic toy alligator and a plastic baggie containing a starfish. I dropped the starfish once, kicked it right under my bed where my cat, Zephyr, immediately dove and ate it. From my great-grandmother, I inherited the skull of a fish shaped like a crucifix. When you shake it gently, you can hear a rattle in the hollow where the brain once was. I remember it perched on your shelf in your bedroom, next to the fragile emerald carapace of a dead cicada and part of a squirrel jawbone, teeth intact. I remember the timbre of words in your throat, jarring, brittle, thin. And I remember the way you let the light in. We are diamonds and worms. We are stitch. We are bend. We are dusk light which transforms any disjointed haunting into a kind of effervescent scorch. We are fire and ice, and we crackle just the same. We are drink, and the sea is an endlessly swallowing throat.
Next we have Wendy Walters, and in the on-deck circle, Randall Wilson. Come to the on-deck circle, please. Have a chair right there.
Come.
Thank you.
Come, whoever you are. This caravan has no despair. Even though you've broken your vow perhaps 10,000 times. Come. Come together. wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving, come. Wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving, come. Come again.
Geraldine Greeley. I've been interested a lot lately in reading some Native American poetry some books that I bought, and I wanted to read one from someone who hosted a reading this past week in Alameda. The Alameda Island Poets, where Dan and I were. Her name is, hold on, Nanette Dietz.
Yeah, Nanette Dietz.
Nanette Dietz. And I heard her read this poem once and I loved it. So, Night Eagle. I think I'm going to need my glasses too. It's called Night Eagle by Nanette Dietz.
D-I-E-T-Z.
The night eagle landed softly last night, eyes a red amber glow among the headlights on 880. We headed north toward the Bay Bridge and Alcatraz. The wind from her wings whispered into my ears. Creator came to earth that night in owl's form to tell me about you. I already knew. I had been waiting, watching, praying, hoping to find warriors here in the land of the crazy time of the fast-flying wheel, taking us all too far away from our mother, Maka'ina, Mother Earth. Suddenly I saw an eagle dancer, your spirit brother, spirit sister, dancing through concrete, metal, and glass. I saw you, and I recognized you. I recognized you. Your strong heart and soft eyes said that you too travel through dreams. We all breathe the same ether of the other worlds. Dream dancers, ghost dancers in this middle land of pain and tears. Wakantanka, Creator, send us a dream so we can all dance together. I'm going to read one of my color poems. I've been writing a poem about each color, how the color makes me feel and think. So, I'm going to read yellow. Yellow sings out sunlight, active and bright. It's a hullabaloo of skibbity-doo-dah, fun and friendly, laughing all the way, till the forgotten magical child transforms every doubt into hope. It's a festival where innocence and wisdom meet and shake hands, and joy is saved from extinction.
Randall Wilson.
Randall Wilson, give him a hand.
Landon Height. Landon.
On deck, please.
On deck there, please. If you will, sir. Thank you.
Oh. Okay, let me get you started here. Yeah, and you're ready. Go.
Yeah. So I've been putting together some memories of when I was a kid, and oh, okay, go. Oh, great. So anyway, this is another one from when I was a kid. I lived my family lived in Michigan, and I lived with them. And so this is Mrs. Sandal's garden. Mrs. Sandal wore big, lumpy shoes and an apron over her house dress. Her baby fine hair was pulled back into a bun on the back of her head. Chubby little fingers had earth, not dirt, under the trimmed nails. Her hands clutched stems of flowers that she had liberated from her own garden, the garden. If a memory of fairyland were to come to life in real life, It would be Mrs. Sandals' garden. Whatever the time of year, it was a magical land of soft grass, carpeting acres of beds of flowers, quilting the dark, rich earth, the earth of Mrs. Sandals' hands. Row after row of quilted beds of hyacinth, rose, lilac, tulip, whatever was in season was blooming with a glamorous color, a joy that can capture the sun and bring a smile. In the waning days of summer, when the sun was setting early, Mrs. Sandals' garden was wrapping up its busy season. The grass was a little crunchy, the trees a bit tired as apples ripened, and the green stalks shed the last of the faded, colorful blooms of June and July. At the ends of the well-tended beds, mulch piles grew with the remnants of plants and grass clippings, being ready for the colder weather that was predicted in the chilly air of early September evenings. Overhead, the stretched-out clouds were reinterpreted by their travels with flights of geese winging their way across Michigan and nearby Canada. A winter visit to Mrs. Sandals' garden was to see nature asleep in a white woolen blanket. The pine trees in the vibrant green stood guard over the sleeping bulbs. The glass protected those rose stalks and the seeds waiting to grow. It was a land of expectation of another spring. The rolling hills and the snow-covered walks between the hibernating beds were perfect for pulling the sled smoothly over glistening snow. The slanting rays of the winter days were short, as the late afternoon quickly vanished into a starry evening. There were quick goodbyes to Mrs. Sandal, who always teared up when the children left her, even if she knew that soon we'd be back as the seasons changed. She would thrust blooms wrapped up in newspapers or jars of homegrown and handmade jam or golden holly boughs to Mom, who always refused them and then gratefully accepted the gifts. In the fall, it was a bushel of sun-ripened apples, destined for apple butter, and the joy and magic of Mrs. Sandals' garden came home with us as we look forward to the changing of the seasons. And then this last one is, sometimes I just sit and think, here, alone with some good memories. I recall flashes of life lived long ago, as if they were pictures shoved into an album left in the last drawer of the chest and long forgotten. But in that flash, they're alive with feelings I can't distinguish. Happy, sad, empty, joyful feelings. A map gets us from one point to another, but it can't take us back or move us forward. But the map helps recall the past as we or I travel to just get here.
Ah. Thank you, Randall. Next up we have Landon Height. Who's new, followed by
I forgot what that was.
sick?
Yes, I am.
So what animal was that?
I'll get back to me on that.
Okay, cool. So I would have prepared something, but I find if I were to prepare something, I'd have a 100% chance of failure. So I'm not going to. I'll have a 50% chance. So I've got at least some chance this way. I don't know who I am. I tell people that I'm strong and I'm powerful and I'm smart and intelligent, and I think they mean different things, but I really don't know. I've heard this saying, go and find yourself, but I've rarely heard the saying, I found myself. And so I take this trip. I'm on a trip with my friend, and I find that I'm not off to find myself, but I'm rather off to forget who I've told people who I think I am, who I want to be. And I never really know who I am, and I go on through life searching for little bits here and there. I've had bits of my mother, bits of my father, my brother and his friends who shaped me, but I never had anything of my own. And maybe that all is my own. Maybe that's just me masking who I fear I am, which is something dark inside. I don't know who I am. I don't know who you are. You don't know who I am, and maybe that's for the best. All I know is that who I am is something that no one else is. All I know is who I am is who I am.
Thank you. Now we have D. Allen.
D. Allen, you're a nice round. D. Allen, magnificent. And David
sit over here.
And Greg, you follow me.
All right.
2 poems for tonight. The first one is called Nations. Every culture has its own tales of
I don't like
creation,
to cut the head.
often repeated, told differently, running through them a single connecting strand. Tribes and federations, true First Nations, arose on this green earth before the rest of us did. Tribes and federations, true First Nations, above us, around us, below us, mate and spawn, fed by mothers, run in fields, climb up trees, play with others, swim through the water, hunt and gather, led by elders, speak to each other in their own unique languages. Tribes and federations, true First Nations of animals. In the air, on the land, in the sea, given respect shown by me. Not eating them, not wearing them, and leaving them the hell alone. That poem was called Nations, and that is an ode to all the different animal species that existed on this earth.
Animal Planet.
Animal Planet, pretty much. An animal planet full of animal nations.
Yeah.
And the last one is a new poem. This is called Cold White Cube. Cold white cube, relieved of its colorful outer cellophane skin, dripping wet. Cold white cube, cold as frozen mango sorbet, clammy as moist human hands, extra firm in texture. Cold white cube, product of compressed organic soybeans, tastes hella better than it sounds when prepared just right. Laid onto a bamboo wooden block, under a descending kitchen knife, careful reduction with each stroke to smaller cold white cubes. Cold white cubes tossed into a bowl with Asian five spice behind it all as the black cast iron skillet sizzles on the electric stovetop with toasted sesame oil, impatiently burning for brown dusted cubes and a stirring steel spatula composing the beginnings of some new lyrical verse, playing around with blended phrases, flavors and aromas, boasting Japanese origin, especially after the sweet, tangy brown sauce is added. Additional stanzas are provided: minced garlic, julienne carrots, chopped shiitake mushrooms, and red bell pepper. Sweet, tangy brown sauce, 1 more teaspoon. Mixed together in the skillet, stir and fry. Spreading the hot new content over a steaming plate of brown rice finishes out this homemade poem. Extra firm, high protein, cold white cube feeds me, sustains me. I need it like I need my plate of teriyaki. No animals were harmed in the making of this meal.
Yeah.
Thank you. That poem was called Cold White Cube, and it started out as a very stupid idea. An ode to tofu, but you saw where I went.
Yeah, well, we saw that. That was good.
I'm D. Allen, you're the crowd.
Right.
Thanks for listening.
Yeah. All right, see my co-pilot coming up here, Mr. David Arzadike, around. And then Greg, you're on next, and then we have Garrett, then Nick. And that's what we're going up for now. We're on, and let me just get you.
Okay. This was 620. Okay. Greed, oh careless greed. Greed, oh careless greed. Cautionary tales have a way of biting me in the ass. The reason I am attracted to them in the first place is because they contain nuggets whose shine attracts me, but whose actual value lies deeper than I was willing to look. There are some poets who never contribute to other poets whenever the hat is passed. They have misconceived the fact that they are too poor to support other poets. The real problem is an impoverished attitude towards self, a decision that they are doomed to suffer. This furthers an inability to see others as themselves and keeps them isolated. They also, like most poets, myself included, are greedy for attention. My own greed was often of a more sexual nature. Lack of funds always got in the way of my love life. Despite this, or perhaps because of it, I always, if money was to be exchanged for sexual favors, felt I should be the recipient, not the donor. This despite the fact that I had not one but two partners where the sex was consensual and excellent. I have come to terms with my greed for love and am comfortable being alone. Oh yes, at times when affection is exchanged by others, I feel lonely. Firstly, when that affection is clingy or cloying or partners seem picky or annoyed with each other, I'm thankful to be responsible only for my own feelings. I usually, not always, suffer fools gladly, but having buried one of my children has made clear to me that certain self-involved individuals are basically a waste of my time. I stop responding to them and wait for them to go away. Those who shake the rattles will tell you that greed is greed, and whatever dies, it manifests. Recognize it first, then set it down in the ditch before resuming your journey. And here's what I wrote today. In anticipation of sitting next to this delightful band. Co-pilot for the Land Shark, putting out small brush fires, allowing you to jumpstart your own battery, pull the muse out of the trash bin, counterbalance the chessboard with fine silks and beautiful yarns, wasted effort segues into smooth sailing, children's stories capture imagination in a sequence of colorful picture words. Remove tonsils, add wings, drum meets wind chimes. Vladimir teaches Donald how cruelty can be enhanced by lying. But first you must always keep the scapegoat in view. Soft keys melt in lockstep. The doors are closing. Please stand away from the doors. The doors are closing. Please stand away from the doors. Leave a message for the sound of the bone, at the sound of the bone. Calling old man geeks over 40 who are overweight, unshaven, or skinhead, have a putrid self-image, indulge in voyeuristic war themes by putting their mind aside, and buy the new Game Boy for only $99.99 and save a penny.
Save a penny?
This is called 7 to 17. 7 to 17 is when this occurred. Sandy orchestrates the band, measuring each grain of sand. Portuguese in flights of love, with Jeffrey's trombone hand in glove. David Belove, electric bass, undercurrent, pace by pace. Amy's independent hands, keeping score, she understands. Dylan, fill-in, shuffle, twitch, cymbals touching, textures rich. Jovino, Hermeto's protege, travels worldwide every day. Sam Pablo sings, come tap your feet. Piedmont piano, have a seat.
Who was that by? By me. No, I thought you had one of those clever names.
That was a concert at Piedmont Piano on 7/2/17.
All right, and now we have the unestimable, something. There's a word that I mean to say, but
Highly estimable.
highly estimable, Mr. Greg Pond coming before us as we know.
A bargain at twice the price.
Oh, do you want me to help you with that?
Highly esteemable.
Highly esteemed table.
All right, he has it. Don't do this at home. We're professionals.
Let me see if I can zoom in.
Harlem Garden, and that's Guarding. It's a follow-up to another poem I wrote called Harlem Garden, Garden. Back in Harlem again. No garden this time, just my Afrocentric friend and I talking, walking along the by and by, checking out who, remembering when, wondering what's with all the new boutiques and cutesy spots popping up on side streets. New visions of a culture fading in the shadows of deferred dreams. The locked store shops that stop welcoming those who look like me. My African-clad friend confers, it's enough to make you sad if it doesn't make you scream. People priced out from once affordable homes that some once owned. Now most don't earn salaries that would even make a dent to cover the annual increase landlords add to the monthly rent. So finally down to their last few cents, too many had to pack up and leave. Harlem's still the same in many ways, but man, how Harlem has changed. Strolling out at about 4 o'clock, 125th Street, busy as can be. Though I have to admit the loss of local landmarks a bit of a shock. Plus the growing number of white folks walking dogs and living on each block. And everywhere you look now, there's more of a visible presence of cops guarding their property and precious lives like they never guarded yours or mine. I recall feeling a little hollow seeing Guns N' Roses' name instead of the Roots displayed on the marquee of the Apollo, and feeling somewhat like a foreigner noticing European-style cafes selling on every other corner. I know the changing face of Harlem is something to behold, but just because its face may change shouldn't make it lose its soul. Old Harlemites still choose to visit family restaurants and sacred pews, assuring history is all they feel they've got. They cling tight to the tried and true, tied to tradition because they don't fit the new. A legacy now reduced to a few bars, barber, and beauty shops. But if we all stop to listen, we can hear something clicking, maybe the ticking of the ancestral clock saying, it's not too late, there's still a way to keep Harlem great if we give it our best shot. But I hear my African-oriented friend mourning the loss and sensing the end of a community no longer vibrant in a way it was back then. And though we recognize the shift from Renaissance memories to new tech glitz, there's a fear that much of the history will get steered right off the cliff. It's enough to break your heart. It's enough to make you wish you knew Harlem back in the day, before jazz and blacks and blues were forced to vacate because they couldn't pay the cost, or were made to walk across St. Nicholas to hear Duke play Satin Doll and take the A train. And so it was, and now it is. When gentrification comes to any town, only the last ones around ever win. Those that bring the money will have the most to say as soon as the old guard and past relics die off or get replaced. The very thought haunts my friend who sleeps with Africa deep in her veins, she says. May the ghosts of our ancestors remain to stand guard so old memories don't escape through the new gates of Harlem.
Oh! That's great fun! Well, next we have Garrett Murphy, followed by Nick Wolf. So Nick Wolf, you take the on-deck chair, please, sir.
You got that? All right. All right. There you go. Okay, he's centered. That's good.
No arts allowed. We advocates of simple human decency and tradition are the most in arms about this terrible phenomenon which we thought we had finally vanquished with our focus upon businesses and MBAs and not so science proper decency. Remember, the business of America is business after all, but alas, this evil called the arts has despoiled our souls and conscience yet again. Blotches and graffiti all over our walls, photos and portraits are subject not to be exposed to our simple, moral, traditional family values. Stories now abounding about singles and other undesirables and untouchable unmentionables in our decent society. Oral garbage, ranting being passed off as poetry or musical, and such disrespect for law and order and authority. Why, we would not be caught dead displaying anything but worship of such. Remember to work them. That is our motto with a touch of haze to boot. But the most asinine corruption of all our nobility, and the one thing we decent, moral, traditional humans despise is all the movement, movement. So therefore, dear citizen, we must put a stop to all this Duncan-esque anarchy. So please, please, please don't allow the artists in here. Oh no, you see, the arts are contagious, and now we are getting the urge. Paying no attention to our early stages. No, we mean we must pay attention and fast. We must vanquish this aberration before it takes over us all. So please, please, please don't fall for our above nonsense. The sinking tower of rhymes with Crisco. Like present-day imitators of Yodo the Turtles, the city parents and developers did at this time. All they really had to do was to simply build a new transit center, but of course, who do we think we are? Anyone can build a simple transit center, but we're SNF, the city that really knows how. There's nothing going higher than we. We'll build us a transit center capped by a building that'll really help to build us up to the stars. So they built up and built up and built up some more, and behold, that tower was built. A marvel of the ages. But what's the odd sound, that sinking sound, not quite the burping sound of a Mac, but equally ominous? A gasp roars out. It is plainly clear that that tower has begun to sink like paralysis into the earth. Those developers might have dared to rise to the stars, but it appears they will really sink to the fallen stars. They really should have known that to build up on sand, soft enough to grow through hourglasses, sole source of hubris to city leaders and builders. But you can never keep a big ego down for long. Hey, look on the bright side. At least we've done Italy a few better. They just have a leaning tower of Pisa, but we have, ladies and gentlemen, the sinking tower of, oh, well, you know.
And now we have Nick Wolf, another new player.
That was a sick dog, but...
Alright, this one's called Nightmares. Nightmares. To those who fear them, they're bad. To those who understand them, they're good. Many fear what they do not understand, but it's the lack of willingness to comprehend. Through your nightmares, I can see your fears, and I am at peace. Dreams. To those who understand them, they are good. To those who create them, they are better. Few understand the dreams created, but it's the lack of willingness to seek it. Through your dreams, I can see your passion, and I am at peace. In these realms of art, I see the contents of your heart. In these lands of dreams, I see what you believe. Love is what you seek. Love is what I have. Ignorance is what you have. Knowledge is what I offer. But through these words of emotion, you speak the truth. And the truth is that when you talk about me, you're talking about you. And when you talk about you, you're talking about me. My nightmares are the ones without you. I dream of life with you, and maybe, just maybe, I can please you. So please, hold on, even when I let go. This one is called Expression of Love. Do you believe my expression of love? I mean it every single time, usually. Not that I ever don't love you, but the word has become so easy to use. So do I truly love you? Of course, you are perfect. You are an angel, or at least the next best thing. But I am a demon. I siphon your spirit. I drain your force of life. Even though it's seemingly everlasting, it still crushes me. And yet you still want me. You don't want to leave my side even though I continually leave yours. Is it because you're afraid of life without me? That's why I always come back to you. Or is it because you truly love me? That's why I truly love you. But your eyes, your distant eyes, they speak sorrow. Not sorrow because I don't drive you, but sorrow because you feel as if you can't. But you can. Though I myself doubt it, I know you can. You're all that I could ever ask for. Almost all that I could ever ask for. You're beautiful and funny, wonderful and lovely. You have fire, you have spark. I'm a liar, you're my heart. I can't live alone and you won't let me. Though few would condone, some see you as the enemy. But furthermore, you are a door to escape the horde, to escape the gore. You're not the way, but you're a guide on the stage to help me see my destiny. You determine my choices. You're one of the few voices that I actually trust, even in my lust. I want you, I need you, but why can't I see you? I guess it's fine. You are my wife. My love, you're mine. You are my life. There is one other who gave you to me, so thank you, my brother, for setting me free.
All right. now we have the last word. We have a volunteer who decided to do the last word for us, and then we'll take care of these fabulous door prizes designed.
Yeah, nobody chose the last word last week, so I'll just give you a quick one-liner
from
Rumi. A great obstacle in the path is fame.
Hurry up so I can do these prizes. I want to go home.
Something that happened today. I forgot why I put on my Eagle shirt today, and there is a reason for it. Some guy decided because he had a pond stocked with fish that the eagle couldn't be allowed to share. So what he did is he ran the eagle over 5 times. I think that's what it was. Just to make sure he was dead. So just remember that somebody wrote a poem, I think here, where is the man? There he is, talking about the animals. I think other people have alluded to that tonight. So just know that that happened, and we have to speak about it so that other people who might want to do it might not. Maybe not, but who knows.
Good reason. Good reason.
All right. And now, I'm assuming we had everybody because...
Yeah. Everybody who was signed up is red.
All right. So if you signed in, your name is next to a number, and now these cards with numbers on them, as you can see, have been shuffled, and these prizes are here to be taken by you. The Eyes Were Watching God, The Last Cowboys, The New Century. This has politics in it, I'm sorry to say. Gypsy, Bette Midler, The Second Common Reader, which is not so common. And then These Possible Lives by Fleur Jaggy. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. And of course, if those don't float your boat, the keynote, co-pilot like he is, the mini feature, which we had, last word, and then of course, next week's individual theme. So may I have a drum roll, please? Oh, well, he's the first winner of the evening with his number was 22.
I'll take the keynote.
Okay, David takes the keynote. Where's that keynote? Over there. Okay, keynote. David.
Did you turn this on?
Yes, actually, you can turn it.
Did you?
No, I did not.
So
and